Bienvenido, bienvenida a tu primera clase de español. Welcome to your very first Spanish lesson. The goals of this lesson are to learn about the Spanish language and where in the world it's spoken, to understand its many links to English, so we'll look at words like cognates, which are words that look the same, and near cognates, which look very similar, and to be aware of some of the key sound spelling links, so learning how to understand what's on paper so we can read it with a Spanish accent. We're going to go through this step by step. Antes de todo, first of all, ¿por qué el español? Why Spanish? Let me tell you, if you're just starting to learn Spanish or you're thinking about learning Spanish, it's a fantastic language to have because there are over 400 million Spanish speakers in the world, making it the second biggest language. You can see on the map on the screen that we've got Spain, which is maybe the first country to pop into our minds, especially in Europe when we talk about Spanish. But if we go to the other side of the world, we can also see all the red countries in South America, Central America, the Caribbean, and up into North America with Mexico. They also have Spanish as their primary language, their official language. If we go further north again into the United States of America, there are actually 16% of the population of the US also speak Spanish. So it's not just in the countries that are in red, they're just where it's the official language. And it's an increasingly popular and important language for film and culture, sports and music, and for travel. I mean, you can see on the map the number of countries where Spanish is an essential skill to be able to really travel and get to know those cultures. It's also a great skill to have for future work opportunities. If you're a native speaker of English or someone with a really high level of English, you'll find there are so many similarities between Spanish and English which will make this journey of learning Spanish so much easier. So first of all, we're going to look at some similar nouns in Spanish and English. Let me give you some examples. El fútbol, el hotel, el mapa, el restaurante, el hospital, la policía, la idea, la radio, la familia, y la persona. Just pause the video and have a think about what each of those words might mean in English. Okay, let's go through them. El fútbol, football, or the football. El hotel, hotel. El mapa, map. Restaurante, restaurant. Hospital, hospital. Policía, police. Idea, idea. Radio, radio. Familia, family. Persona, person. Now here we've got el or la, and I've color-coded those to bring your attention to that. Just pause the video again and have a think about why there might be two different ways of saying the in Spanish. Okay, so the reason is, like many other languages, like French, if you've learned any French, Italian, Portuguese, there are two genders of words in Spanish. So all nouns are either masculine, which I've coded as blue, or feminine, which I've coded here as green. So that's something that maybe takes a bit of getting used to with Spanish, but makes it really interesting, and you'll find that there are lots of nice clear patterns that help you to work out which gender each word is. And there are some points here as well for pronunciation in Spanish. With hotel, it's a silent H, so we never pronounce the H in Spanish, which is why it's el hotel. The same goes with hospital, another example of that silent H. I'm now going to give you some more examples of nouns which are the same or similar in Spanish and English. But last time I gave you those nouns with the word the, or el or la in Spanish, which is called the definite article. This time I'm going to give you the indefinite article, which is the word for a or an. Un actor, un motel, un festival, un motor, un piano, una televisión, una religión, una región, una invasión, y una idea. So just pause the video again and have a think about what these might mean in English. Okay, let's go through them. So the first few are all cognates, meaning they're exactly the same in Spanish as they are in English. So un actor, an actor, un motel, a motel, un festival, a festival, un motor, a motor, or an engine it can also mean, un piano, a piano, Una televisión, television. So that one's pretty much the same, just you've got that accent in Spanish on the O. Una religión, a religion, so again, just an accent. Una región, a region, so again, it just gains an accent. Una invasión, an invasion, again, just gains an accent. Una idea, an idea. Okay, so here we can see that instead of el or la, when we want to say a instead of the, it goes to un or una. Okay, now we're going to take a look at some similar adjectives in Spanish and English. The first one is terrible. Then we've got ideal, final, cultural, admirable, central, normal, local, similar, visible, y original. These are again all cognates, they're all exactly the same in English. There are some more points here for learning a bit about how Spanish is pronounced. Take the first word, terrible. We hear that rolling R, so R's in English are very different to in Spanish. We'd say terrible, so it's a R in English. In Spanish, when we've got a double R, it's a R sound, terrible. Another point here is with the word visible. The V becomes a B sound in Spanish. Finally, I'd like to look at a group of verbs that look really similar in Spanish and give us a clue to what they mean in English. Okay, so the first one is activar, visitar, celebrar, adoptar, comunicar, calcular, cancelar, y dedicar. Okay, just pause the video and have a think about what these verbs might mean. I'll give you a quick clue that in English, the infinitive verbs, which means a verb when no one's doing it, it's just neutral, it always is to something, like to play, to eat, to sleep. Pause the video and then press play when you're done. Okay, let's go through them. So activar is the verb to activate. Visitar, to visit. Celebrar, to celebrate. Adoptar, to adopt. Comunicar, to communicate. Calcular, to calculate. Cancelar, to cancel. Y dedicar is to dedicate. And notice that all of these verbs in Spanish, they all end in AR. So in Spanish there are only three groups of verbs. Ones that end in AR, ones that end in IR, and ones that end in ER. So they follow even stricter patterns than they do in English, which makes it really nice because once we learn the AR endings to say I activate, you activate, he, she, or it activates, and so on, we can apply those endings to all of the regular AR verbs, which gives us thousands of verbs to work with really quickly. I'll give you some examples of some IR and ER verbs now. Admitir, existir, insistir, suponer, mantener. Okay, again, just pause the video quickly and have a think about what these might mean. So let's go through them. Admitir, to admit. Existir, to exist. Insistir, to insist. Suponer, to suppose. Mantener, to maintain. Okay, so that just gives you a bit of a taster of some of the verbs, some of the nouns, and some of the adjectives that you can already work out from their similarities with the English.